Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Jade. I create content which helps you maximize your online presence and build profitable businesses. So today's video is a bit of a nerve-wracking one because I'm going to be reviewing my 2021 social media progress and then also sharing some insight into what my strategy for 2022 is going to look like. I say this is nerve-wracking because I'm going to be committing to some things for next year, which make me nervous. But I feel like if I say it on camera on my YouTube video, this is my way of holding myself accountable because I've said it now, so I have to do it. It is worth saying that I got the idea for this video from Latasha James. She's a YouTuber who recently released a podcast episode where she basically done the same thing that I'm doing now. And it was really interesting. It was very insightful. So I thought, yeah, I want to do something similar for my audience. So I will find a link to that episode and I'll put it in my description in case you want to check out her podcast. So let's just get straight to my 2021 review. So for those of you who are new to kind of my journey, it's worth flagging that I actually created this whole personal brand, like this whole YouTube channel, my Instagram channel, in November 2020. So this year, I'll give you some numbers in a second, but the start of this year was very much still the start of these channels. And I knew that I wanted to focus on YouTube and Instagram. That was my broader social media strategy. And there was two reasons for that. The first reason is that I knew Instagram like the back of my hand, and I have known it like the back of my hand for a long time. So I knew that creating an Instagram was an absolute no-brainer for me, and also that it wouldn't take too much energy from my side because I already kind of knew how the platform works. And the reason why I wanted to focus on YouTube was because I felt like that there wasn't a lot of people who looked and sounded like me talking about the things that I'm talking about on YouTube. There definitely are people who look and sound like me talking about similar things, but there wasn't a lot of people. And I wanted to be that person for others, and I wanted to try and kind of fill that representation gap. But also I was just so intrigued into this whole long form video content thing. I've always been a firm believer that it's one of the most powerful media kind of mediums, long form video content, but I just didn't think I had it in me to really go out there, put myself on camera and talk to a screen for half an hour. Yet here I am, so clearly I did. But that was the reason why I picked those two channels. I also felt like those two things went hand in hand and they complemented each other. But those are the two channels that I very much focused on this year. So let me just cut to the chase and give you some numbers so you can see what my growth has been like. So I started the year with about 700 followers on my Instagram channel. I now have 10,791. So that is a solid 10,000 increase. I should say that the date of me doing this as well is the 9th of December. So it's not the full end of the year just yet. So I've gained 10,000 followers in 1 year, which I think is amazing. Like I'm incredibly happy with that. I think nowadays, sometimes we can convince ourselves that, 10,000 followers is the kind of growth you want to see in 1 month, because there is a lot of content creators on Instagram who are blowing up or have been blowing up throughout this year. And sometimes what happens is that, they tell you that they gain 10,000 followers in a day, and maybe not in a day, but really quickly. And it makes you feel like your growth is slow and it's not as quick as it should be. And I made a conscious effort not to let myself seep into that trap. I gained 10,000 followers, which I think is a lot, but not only that, there are 10,000 followers who are really engaged in my content and who I feel like I've built a really great community around. So it very much depends on your objectives. My objective for my Instagram wasn't to blow up. My objective was to build a community, and I feel like I've done that. So very happy and very pleased with that growth. My goal for my Instagram was around 5,000 followers by the end of the year. So as I said, very happy with that 10,000 mark. YouTube has been a whole nother scenario. So I started the year, let me just I want to make sure that I'm getting my notes up. So I started the year with 108 subscribers. So on January the 1st, 2021, I had 108 subscribers on YouTube, and I was absolutely buzzing because I hit the 100 mark, and I was like, finally. It felt like it took ages. It only took 2 months, but it felt a while to me. I say only, that still is quite a while. I don't know, it depends on how you look at it. But I had hit 108 subscribers and I was buzzing. I am now on 41,420 subscribers. So I've gained about 41,000 subscribers in a year, which is mind-blowing. And to put that into some perspective and into some context, my goal for this year in terms of YouTube subscribers was 2,000. So I wanted to end the year with 2,000 subscribers and I wanted to be monetized. And I now have 41,000. So the year has been a very good year for YouTube for me. No doubt that that's helped me with my Instagram growth as well. But those are the numbers in terms of what I've managed to achieve in 2021. Let's talk a bit about what went well and what didn't go well before we move on to my 2022 strategy, right? So this year, the thing that I've done really well, and the thing which I attribute to a lot of my success, is I was very consistent. And consistency means different things to everyone. For me, consistency meant that I was posting on Instagram at least 3 times a week, if not 5 times. 5 times is my optimal optimal, but I like to give myself best and worst case scenarios because, you know, life gets in the way. And also for YouTube, consistency for me was 2 videos a week, a minimum of 1. So again, best case scenario, 2 videos, worst case scenario, 1 video. And I'm pretty sure I've done that every single week, apart from in April, I think I missed 1 or 2 weeks when I was unwell, but I was pretty much consistent this entire week where I was doing 1 to 2 videos. And towards the second half of the year, I was almost consistently doing 2 videos a week on a regular basis. Like I was uploading between 6 to 8 videos every single month. I was being super consistent, and that was really when you know, my channel took off, and you can see the result in that. So that's what I feel like went really well this year, and it's a big reason why I think I was able to grow to the point where I have over the space of 12 months. In addition to that, what I did very early on in the year is I refined my content a bit more, so I niched down. I previously used to speak a lot about boutiques because I used to own some boutiques, but I don't own these boutiques anymore. I shut them down to focus on this business. So I did have a bit of a varied audience. So for that reason, I decided to niche down. So I'm smiling at the minute because my fire alarm just went off. So I'm hoping to God that 1, there's not a fire, but also it doesn't go off again. I'm hoping it's just a test. So I niched down a bit, and don't get me wrong, I still talk about a few different things. I talk about influencing, I talk about entrepreneurship, I talk about online business, I talk about Instagram, YouTube, but my audience is a lot more aligned now. So I've niched down, which I think really helped me. Another thing which really went in my favor this year is that I've really dedicated a lot of time to continuous learning. So as I mentioned, I already knew Instagram like the back of my hand, but that didn't mean that I just stopped learning about Instagram. I immersed myself in it, and anytime there was an update or a change, I knew about it. I needed to be that person because of my content anyway, but I also wanted to be that person so that I could continuously grow at a healthy rate for my Instagram channel. And then when it came to YouTube, I dedicated so much time to learning everything there was to know about the platform to get me to a place now where I feel super confident in it, and I really know how to leverage the platform to get my videos out there. So that's another thing that I think went well. Let's talk about what didn't go so well, because it wasn't all smooth sailing. So one thing which I did not do well this year is my Instagram stories. Everyone always says show up on your stories every day. I firmly believe that you only show up on your stories when you've got something to say. Because when you show up on your stories and you have nothing to say and you're just reposting something and that's it, you end up losing story viewers, and they're really hard to get back. So all that aside, I still wanted to make sure I was showing up on my stories at least 3 to 5 times a week, and I wanted to make sure that I had some stuff to say. The problem was that I would go and do these fun things in central London and forget to capture content. Like, that's right, guys, I forget to get content sometimes too. Like, I'm in no ways am I perfect at this. I'll go work from this incredible place all day where I could have gotten so much content, and then come home and be like, oh my God, I did not get one photo. And I'll have nothing to share on my stories, and I'll be so frustrated and annoyed at myself. And I've done that so many times this year. It's just been that thing that I've let slip. So I really need to improve on that, and I'm going to get a lot better of that next year. I've already got a bunch of processes in my mind which is going to help me improve. Another thing that I didn't do well this year and that I'm going to do a lot better next year is I wasn't strategic when it came to repurposing my content. So I batch create, batch creation is my favorite thing. I'll link to a video about batch creating content if you don't know what that means. But I create my content in batches. Like I've been filming for 3 hours already this morning and I schedule everything out in advance. But what I don't do is I don't get really like tactical with repurposing content. So this video right now, like this can realistically be repurposed into Reels. It could be repurposed into TikToks. This could be repurposed into Instagram carousels. Yet that is not what I have been doing. I've been doing these YouTube videos, posting on my YouTube, and then reinventing the wheel for all my other content, for my email newsletters, for everything. I've been like, okay, what should I talk about? Starting from scratch, forgetting that I've not only spent an hour preparing for every YouTube video that I've done, but I've also spent another hour recording on it. So there's a ton of content for me to repurpose, and I just don't do it. So that is one thing that I'm going to get a lot better at next year, which I think is going to help me be even more consistent than I've already been this year. All right, so let's talk about my 2022 strategy. This is the nerve-wracking bit. It is worth saying that my actual strategy is like this huge document and it's quite complex. Anyone who's part of my Instagram marketing course, Next Level IG Academy, will know that what I'm about to tell you is not my full strategy. If you wanted my full strategy, we would be here for like 4 hours. But what I'm going to do is tell you the key things, like the key points of difference for next year's strategy plan versus this year's. And let me tell you, there's a lot of changes. So the first key kind of change and the first key thing that I'm doing next year, which is going to be different, is, and this kind of sums up my whole strategy for next year, I am going to be getting back out of my comfort zone. So what's happened, and I only realized this as a result of doing my end of year review where I sit down with myself because there's no one else in my company apart from my freelancers. So I sit down by myself and I go through everything that went well this year, not just on my social strategy, but my entire business, right? And one thing that I noticed, which really made me quite nervous, is that I have seamlessly slipped back into my comfort comfort zone. Last year, the end of last year, I had just started my YouTube channel and I was constantly on edge because I was so far out of my comfort zone. And, you know, I was really trying to do something new. I had no audience. It was uncomfortable, but I was pushing myself and I enjoyed that. And what's happened is I've continued with my YouTube. My YouTube has done well. And then around the mid-year mark of this year, I slipped straight back into my comfort zone because suddenly my YouTube was comfortable now. Me filming this video is fun. Like, I actually find this fun. Like, not just comfortable, fun. And posting YouTube videos isn't a scary experience for me. None of this is pushing me out of my comfort zone anymore. It's still challenging me because I'm still having to learn a lot and make sure I'm presenting things in a way that's really interesting, entertaining, and useful to you, but I am in my comfort zone again. So I will be swiftly getting out of my comfort zone, pretty much immediate effectively, probably really getting into gear from January. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to start to branch out to more social networking platforms. So as you know, this year I focus on Instagram and YouTube. I'm at a point where I feel comfortable with both of these platforms. They've got a good system running in place, and I'm now at a point where I can branch out and actually start trialing some new platforms. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about those in a second. So that moves me swiftly onto the next key point of my 2022 strategy, which is about extending my online presence. This coming year, I'm going to be trialing some new platforms. The first and the most daunting is TikTok. That's right, kids, I'm on TikTok. I've actually already created my TikTok page. It's Jade_Beeson. I'm pretty sure at this moment I have 0 followers. Hold on. So guys, right now I have 0 followers. Bear in mind that I literally just created the channel. Also, me being of a certain age, I don't have that many friends who are actively on TikTok. So, you know, when you create a new Instagram channel and you know you're going to get like 50 of your mates on there or your family, I don't actually really have anyone on there. So I literally have 0 followers. So if you're on TikTok, please give me a pity follow just to get that number up. But I will be going all in with TikTok for at least 6 months of next year. And this is my strategy for all of these platforms I'm going to be trying. I'm going to be going all in on them for 6 months, and only then can I slow down and review my progress, because we all know that success lies on the other side of consistency. So me saying to myself, yeah, I'm going to go all out on TikTok and not giving myself a specific time frame or a KPI or anything like that for when I'm going to review my success on TikTok or how it's going, will basically give me a way out to quit TikTok after a month. Because we all know that people don't often see success on a platform for a little while. You know, it's a rarity just to blow up really quickly. So I can easily just give up and quit if I just start TikTok now and don't give myself any KPIs. So I know for a fact that I have my own KPIs, which I won't bore you with, but they are all time-based. And when I get to the middle of next year, I will be reviewing my progress, and only then will I allow myself to take the foot off the gas and potentially not continue with TikTok, depending on how it's going. Another platform I'm going to be trying is Pinterest. A lot of other people within my field have Pinterest. It is a common platform and it's a really great way for them to get website traffic. So I'm working with my freelance marketing manager to develop a strategy for my Pinterest account as well. So I will be giving Pinterest a whirl. And another platform that I won't say I'll be trialing because I already have it, but my LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn is out of date. I've always hated LinkedIn. It's too professional for me. It makes me too nervous. I don't like, it's just too professional. I don't like it. But I am aware that, you know, this is a business and I'm building a business. So I need to have my LinkedIn up to scratch. And that's another thing that I'm going to be working with my marketing manager on, just to make sure that my LinkedIn reflects all the stuff that I currently do. And yeah, is really up to scratch. So those are the main channels that I will be branching out to. So another thing that I'm going to be trying next year is paid advertising. So don't get me wrong, I have tried paid advertising in the past, but as of recently, I've been very much focusing on organic advertising. And this is specific to Facebook and Instagram ads, right? The reason why I've been focusing on organic up until this point is because I'm a firm believer that you need to have perfected your organic marketing strategy before you start using paid. Because what ends up happening if you don't do that is you waste a lot of money trying to promote posts which aren't effective because you've not spent the time testing your posts and your content for free. I have been testing my posts and my content for free. I know what content works. I feel like I'm in a very good position where actually I can start putting some money behind some paid adverts to start doing things like recruiting for my online Instagram marketing course or recruiting for my membership club, which is called the Creators Club, which is a membership club designed specifically for content creators. If you don't know about it yet, there's a link in my description for both things actually. So I think it's time for me to start putting some paid spend behind those kind of campaigns and those masterclasses and stuff like that. So that's what I will be doing in the new year too, which is exciting. Another thing that will be changing next year, and it's already in motion, is I am fully transitioning from We Side Hustle, which was the previous name of this business and this brand, to Jade Beeson. So I'm becoming more of a personal brand, and I've got a whole video on my reason behind that up here. I'm in the process of doing that. Like, my YouTube channel is now called Jade Beeson. My Instagram channel, finally, it took forever, is now called Jade Beeson. I'm migrating my website over, so it's just going to be on jadebeeson.com, but that is a long process. The point is, I'm moving to a personal brand, and what that means for my social channel is a bunch of few things. I'm going to be sharing more photos and content of my life and of me. There'll still be graphics and stuff like that, but it's going to be a lot more varied, whereas previously it was almost exclusively graphics. I'm going to be doing less of that content. I'm going to be bringing a bit more of my personal life into it, which I'm really excited for, and that's something that my audience has already told me that they want to see more of from me. It also means that I'll be doing stuff like creating more vlogs, doing more behind the scenes of my life. I'm also going to try and stop repurposing quotes. So a lot of what I've been doing this year, like one of my key content pillars, has been inspirational content, and that normally looks like quotes. And I've been sharing my favorite quotes, which really help me on a day-to-day basis. But I'm now in a position where I'm transitioning from sharing repurposed quotes and famous quotes from actually just sharing my own thoughts. And yes, they won't be wrapped together in a neat bow and they won't sound as effective as some of these famous quotes, but it'll be my way of communicating how I feel and what I believe in and how I actually want to help my audience in my own personal way, which reflects myself and my brand, versus just repurposing other people's quotes. So that's just another example of how I'll be more of a personal brand moving forward. So there's also going to be a few changes coming from my specific social platform. So I'm going to be making a few changes to my YouTube and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you about them because, again, I really need to be held accountable, because some of these changes do push me out of my comfort zone and they make me a bit nervous. So the first, YouTube. As I mentioned, I'm going to try to do more vlogs, which do make me nervous, especially vlogging in public, but I'm going to really put myself out there and try and do it. I'm also going to get some new camera equipment so that things are looking a bit more polished and I've got better lighting and stuff like that. I still want it to be really authentic though, so it's not going to suddenly become like studio quality, but you know, I'm going to stop using my broken Samsung Galaxy, which I think, given that it's been a year, it's probably overdue that I upgrade and move on. I'm also going to get a lot more creative with my video style. So I know I always sit in front of this backdrop, which I absolutely adore. I'm going to continue to sit here, but I'm going to start mixing things up. Sometimes halfway through my video, I might film from my desk. I've just recently redecorated my bedroom, so now it looks really nice. So I might move to my bedroom. I might go outside on my balcony. I want to be a lot more diverse and create more shots, which will help to engage my audience. And if you're wondering where that came from and why I want to do that, Catherine Manning, who I mention all the time when I'm talking about YouTube growth, she talks about how she's used different camera angles to keep people engaged, because she has a similar style of content to mine where I'm kind of sitting and delivering value, like talking head content. And even though you guys watch my videos, even though I sit here the whole time, which I'm very thankful for, I'm aware that it might be a bit boring for some people. So I'm going to try and get a bit more creative in that area. And then lastly, I'm going to also pay a bit more attention to the thumbnail copy. So the words that I include in my thumbnail, I think I got a bit lazy halfway through the year and I'm not creating thumbnails which are as attention grabbing as I did at the start of the year. So I'm going to pay a lot more attention to my thumbnails as well. When it comes to my Instagram, as I mentioned, it's progressing to more of a personal brand. So there'll be more photos of me, more photos of my life. And I'm also going to be upping the amount of video content that I share. So a lot more reels, a lot more videos, and really leaning into those features more than some of my other ones. For TikTok, it's going to be very much focusing on volume. That will be my strategy, at least for the first month or so. I'll be sharing a lot of content. It makes me nervous saying it because I'm like, where's this content you're sharing on TikTok, Jade? I've not seen it. So I'm going to try and film loads of content and I'm going to share loads of different TikToks. And you may or may not know this about me, but I'm not the kind of like TikToker or real person who does like the dancers, even though I literally danced for like 20 years of my life, which makes me feel like I'm wasting that skill. I'm not really that kind of person on videos. So I need to spend some time really getting comfortable with the type of TikToker I'm going to be and the type of content that I'm going to create. And I want to release a lot of content within a short period of time, because I feel like that's going to help me measure which type of content is sticking and which, you know, form of content people are responding well to. And that will allow me to refine my content a few months down the line and hopefully start to really grow a bit of a following on that platform. So, I mean, stay tuned. I'm sure I'll do a video. I mean, if it's doing poorly, maybe I won't, but if it's doing well, maybe even if it's doing badly, I'll do a video on my progress in the future and you can see how it's going down. But my strategy for my TikTok is very much like volume. And my LinkedIn and Pinterest strategies, I'm not going to bore you with, but that's stuff that I'm working through with my marketing manager. Once, you know, my Pinterest is up and running, I'll put a link in my description so you can check that out as well. And that's it. That is a sneak peek of what my social strategy for 2022 is going to look like. If you are a business owner, product or service based, and you are interested in actually creating your own Instagram marketing strategy, then I recommend checking out next Next Level IG Academy. There's a link in my description. And if you're a content creator, then check out the Creators Club as well. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, then I recommend checking out this video. It's all about my top tips for being more confident on camera, because if you don't show your face already on your social channels, I really want you to start doing that in 2022. Thank me later, the results will be incredible. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in my next video.